about it. I don't know what it is about it. About it.
Shalawam, it's your boy brother Kwame, and I am back at it yet with another video. Episode 7 of the Sunday is not the Sabbath day. Now, let's go ahead and find out if the rest of the people in the Bible understood the scripture in Exodus 31 that is a sign between him, the Most High, and his people, the children of Israel, forever. Now, let's go ahead and find out if Christ kept the Sabbath or if he was walking around doing Sunday worship. Come on, join me to the book of Luke chapter 4 verse 14. Join me to the book of Luke chapter 4 verse 14. And the word of the Lord say, and Jesus returned in the power of the Spirit into Galilee, and there went out a fame of him throughout all the regions round about. Verse 15, and he taught in their synagogues, being glorified of all. Verse 16, and he came to Nazareth, where he had been brought up, and his custom was, he went into the synagogue on the Sabbath day and stood up to read. He went into the synagogue on the Sabbath day to read. He did this on the Sabbath day. It says as his custom was, meaning it was a custom for him, King Jesus, to do this on the Sabbath day. Why? Because Christ understood something that the Roman Christian churches doesn't understand today. The Roman Christian church, they don't understand the verse that we read on episode 6 in Exodus 31, that it was a sign between the Most High and the children of Israel forever, a perpetual covenant. See, Christ understood that. We're supposed to be following Christ, right? Christ kept the Sabbath day. What about you? Christ kept the Sabbath day. What about you? Christ understood. He actually had reading comprehension, that when it said the Most High said, it was a sign between him and the children of Israel forever. Christ understood that. He understood that that doesn't mean Sunday worship. He understood that. Now, some people might try to come and say, well, Christ had to keep the Sabbath day, but after Christ died, it was a new revelation. They're going to give you this new age philosophy, Satan worship. That's all it is Satanism. New age philosophy. Now it's this new revelation. Now we don't have to keep the Sabbath day anymore. It's Sunday. Now let's find out, after Christ's death, were they keeping the Sabbath day Or were they keeping Sunday, like the Roman Christian churches would want to make you believe? Let's find that out right now. Join me to the book of Acts chapter 13 verse 13. Join me to the book of Acts chapter 13 verse 13. And the word of the Lord say, "Now, when Paul and his company loosed from Paphos, they came to Perga in Pamphylia. And John departed from them, returned from Jerusalem." Verse 14. "But when they departed from Perga, they came to Antioch in Pisidia, and went into the synagogue on the Sabbath day." No, on Sunday. Sabbath day. No, the first day of the week. Sabbath day. You telling me Paul was keeping the Sabbath day? I thought Paul said, "Let no man therefore judge you in meat or in drink or in respect of an holy day or of the new moon or of the Sabbath days." I thought Paul said this to me. I thought Paul was telling me that I could do whatever I want. Hold on, wait. But Paul is keeping the Sabbath day? He went into the synagogue on the Sabbath day? I thought it was over with once Christ died. No, Paul understood Exodus 31 as well, when it said a perpetual covenant between me, the Most High, and the children of Israel. Paul understood that as well, something that you don't understand today. Paul was able to have that type of comprehension on a basic level. He understood that the Most High meant what he said. And Paul, didn't have the authority to come and just start preaching something else, a whole nother totally different doctrine. Talking about the Sabbath day was changed from day 7 to Sunday. Come on. The Most High said forever, and then Paul comes along. Oh, well, it don't matter no more. That don't make sense. That is not what Paul was preaching. That is not the doctrine that he was preaching. Because Paul, according to scripture, he was keeping the Sabbath day. Verse 15. "And after the reading of the law and the prophets, the ruler of the synagogue sent unto them, saying, Ye men and brethren, if ye have any words of exhortation for the people, saying on." Verse 16. "Then Paul stood up, and beckoning with his hand said, Men of Israel, and ye that fear God, give audience." You see that? Okay, so Paul was telling them to listen to what he's getting ready to say. When you continue to read on down in the chapter, Paul preached Christ to them. He preached the Messiah to them. Now let's find out what happened after Paul preached the word of the Most High, or when he preached Yahweh Shai, the Son of the Most High, to the rulers of the leaders. Now join me to the book of Acts chapter 13 verse 42. Join me to the book of Acts chapter 13 verse 42. And the word of the Lord say, "And when the Jews were gone out of the synagogue, the Gentiles besought that these words might be preached to them the next Sabbath." Even the Gentiles wanted to come get it in on the Sabbath day. The Gentiles heard Paul and them preaching in the synagogue on the Sabbath day, and they said, "We want a piece of that on the next Sabbath day." The Gentiles back then, during the time of Christ, now this is right after Christ's death, they are a different breed of Gentiles than you Gentiles out there right now. Totally different breed of people. They knew their position. They didn't come bringing no Sunday worship, Christmas and Easter, and all those pagan holidays which came through the Roman Catholic Church. They didn't come doing that. Let's find out what the Gentiles knew that you Gentiles don't know today. They knew something very important. They really knew the importance of keeping the Sabbath. Now watch this. Let's find out what they knew. Join me to the book of Isaiah chapter 56 verse 6. Join me to the book of Isaiah chapter 56 the 6th verse. And the word of the Lord say, "Also the sons of the stranger that join themselves to the Lord, to serve him and to love the name of the Lord, Yahweh, to be his servants. Everyone that keepeth the Sabbath from polluting it, and taketh hold of my covenant, Verse 7, even them will I bring to my holy mountain and make them joyful in my house of prayer. Their burnt offerings and their sacrifices shall be accepted upon mine altar. For my house shall be called a house of prayer for all people. Now this is for you modern day Hebrew Israelites. For all people, for all people, for all people. My house shall be called an house of prayer for all people. Now back to the topic. Now when it says the sons of strangers, strangers is just another word for Gentiles. The sons of strangers that take hold on that same covenant that the Most High said was a perpetual covenant between me and the children of Israel. The same Gentiles that grabbed hold on that and didn't defile it and didn't pollute it and didn't preach Sunday worship and teach against the Sabbath and didn't tell the children of Israel to go off and worship other gods. The same Gentiles, he said that they will be accepted. So that is what the Gentiles knew during the time of Paul. They knew to grab hold onto the Sabbath day covenant, not the Roman Catholic Sunday covenant under Satan. They knew that. That's why they said, hey, we need to hear this word again on the next Sabbath day. You understand? That is what it's talking about. You have to take hold onto the covenant and then he'll accept those Gentiles that do that. And the thing is, most of you people, y'all going to continue to follow that Sunday worship because that is your natural instinct to do. That is a natural instinct of most people out there. So that is what this is going into. If you don't take hold onto this covenant, you can forget about the kingdom of heaven. People, forget about the kingdom of heaven if you don't take hold onto this covenant. Now join me to the book of Ezekiel chapter 46 verse 1. Join me to the book of Ezekiel chapter 46, the first verse. And the word of the Lord say, thus saith the Lord God, the gate of the inner court that looketh toward the east shall be shut the 6 working days. Now this is going into the kingdom of heaven. Yes, the kingdom of heaven. 6 working days. Now let's examine what this is saying. 6 working days. That means in the kingdom of heaven, guess what? You will be working 6 working days. For 6 working days, the gates are going to be shut. But on the Sabbath, it shall be open. And in the day of the new moon, it shall also be open. So on the day of the Sabbath and the new moon, that gate is going to be opened. Now let's find out why it's going to be open. Verse 2. And the prince shall enter by the way of the porch of that gate without. Now, the prince is Yahweh Shai, the king, Jesus. He is going to enter into the gate and shall stand by the post of the gate. And the priest shall prepare his burnt offerings and his peace offerings. And he shall worship at the threshold of the gate. And then he shall go forth, but the gate shall not be shut until the evening. So he's going to worship and then he's going to go through the gates. But the gates are not going to be shut yet. Let's find out what else is going to happen. Verse 3. Likewise, the people of the land shall worship at the door of this gate before the Lord in the Sabbaths and in the new moons. The Sabbath day and the new moon, people are going to worship the Most High. That's for those of the people who has the privilege to actually make it into the kingdom. They will be worshiping the Most High on the Sabbath day and the new moon. Why? Because the Most High said it was a perpetual covenant forever, forever, forever. The Most High meant when he said forever. He meant what he said. In the kingdom of heaven, Sabbath days. From the beginning, Sabbath days. During the time of Christ, Sabbath days. After Christ's death, Sabbath days. Kingdom of heaven, Sabbath days. Forever, forever, forever. That is what the Most High is dealing with. Forever. It is a perpetual covenant. There is no debate of what day we're supposed to be worshiping on. It's too clear in the scriptures. It didn't go in the beginning. He wanted the Sabbath days, the time of Moses' Sabbath days, all the prophets' Sabbath days, and Christ kept the Sabbath days. Oh, and now there's a break in there with Paul. All of a sudden we get Sunday, and then we're going to jump back to the Sabbath day in the kingdom. That makes no sense. That is confusion. The Most High is not the author of confusion. That is confusion. It's all the way Sabbath days. All the way. All the way. Now what I'm getting ready to do is show you what we are going to be doing in the kingdom of heaven on the Sabbath day. Let's find out what else we're going to be doing on the Sabbath day. And the thing is, you are going to be surprised what we are going to be doing on the Sabbath day in the kingdom of heaven. And this only goes for those who have the privilege of making it and get the chance to worship the Most High on the Sabbath day. Watch. Join me to the book of Isaiah chapter 66 verse 22. And the word of the Lord say, "For as the new heavens and the new earth, which I will make, shall remain before me, saith the Lord." Now, we know for sure it's talking about the new heaven and the new earth. Let's continue to read. "So shall your seed and your name remain." Verse 23, "And it shall come to pass." This means future tense for those that don't really understand. It shall come to pass, meaning sometime in the future it's going to happen. Now let's continue to read. "That from one new moon to another, and from one Sabbath to another, shall all flesh come to worship before me." Now that is clear. All flesh, meaning all flesh that's going to make it into the kingdom, that get the privilege to worship the Most High. Every new moon and Sabbath day, you come into worship before the Most High, saith the Lord. The Most High said this, not me, not Ezekiel, not anyone else. The Most High said it, saith the Most High. I'm going to go with what he says. Now let's find out what else we're going to be doing. We know in the kingdom of heaven, we're still going to be keeping the Sabbath. Just like it said in Ezekiel 46, we're going to be keeping the Sabbath day in the kingdom. Now let's find out what else we're going to be doing. This is the spotlight right here. This is the eye opener. This is the eye opener right here to find out what else we are going to be doing in the kingdom of heaven on the Sabbath day. Join me to the book of Isaiah chapter 66 verse 24. Join me to the book of Isaiah chapter 66 verse 24. And the word of the Lord say, "And they shall go forth and look upon the carcasses of the men that have transgressed against me, for their worm shall not die, neither shall their fire be quenched, and they shall be an abhorrent unto all flesh." We are going to go forth every Sabbath day and new moon to the lake of fire to look at all the Sunday worshipers, look at all the adulterers, all the murderers, all the kidnappers, and all the Satan worshipers. We're going forth every Sabbath and new moon to do this. We're going to be looking at all the bodies in the lake of fire. That's what this is talking about. Every Sabbath day, we're going to look at all the Sunday worshipers. We're going to look at all those people that was teaching people to keep Sunday and not keep the Sabbath. Every Sabbath day is going down. You have 4 Sabbaths and sometimes 5 Sabbaths in a month. And you have 1 new moon every month. So between 5 and 6 times a month, we're going to the lakes of fire. We're going to praise the Most High, and then we're going to get together, and then we're going to go to the lakes of fire. We are going to the lakes of fire to look at bodies burning. And Christ talked about this. The parable of the rich man and the poor man, Lazarus. He talked about this. He says a great gulf fixed between us. And all that God wanted was a drip of water on his tongue, and he couldn't get it. We're going every Sabbath to look at bodies burning in the lakes of fire. We're going to look at all the people who transgressed against the Most High. All the people that did that. That is a sight to see. This is where people has to make decisions right now. Do you want to be the one that's burning in that burning flame? And then you will be able to understand, or you're going to understand, what the word perpetual and forever means. Because you think it's a joke. You think it's something cute. Something that he just thought to say. Oh, well, we can just do whatever we want. You think it's something cute. Y'all Christians, y'all don't take this Bible seriously. That's when you're going to start to understand what the word perpetual and forever means. After 1,000,000 years, you're going to be sitting there like, dang, I have another 1,000,000 years. And now I got another 1,000,000 years after that. And then I got another 1,000,000,000 years after that. You're going to understand forever. You're going to understand the word forever. And for those who kept the covenant, for when the Most High said the Sabbath day is a sign between him and his children, they are going to understand what the word forever means as well. And they're going to be glad and happy that they understood something as simply as what forever meant. Forever, forever, forever. It's your boy, Brother Kwame. I pray that every single one of you who watched this whole series, all 7 videos, I pray that you guys go and share these videos. All 7 breakdowns of every episode. They are trying to block my YouTube channel from taking off because I'm hitting them with that heavy truth. So people, please go and share these videos. And I have many other videos coming. I got another series coming up soon. I will be destroying that lunar Sabbath. I'm going to do a full breakdown of that, and I'm going to destroy that doctrine as well too. So it's your boy, Brother Kwame. Y'all hit the subscribe button. I am out. Shalawam. I love you all. And I pray that you all learn and enjoy it. I'm out. Shalawam. Peace.